For years, the advice for new YouTube creators has been pretty much the same. But here's the thing. That advice is leading them into a losing battle. While most people are fighting over scraps, a few creators have found a sort of backdoor to success in niches almost no one is even talking about. So this is the Faceless YouTube playbook for 2026. So why are so many new channels failing? I mean, with all the tools we have now, it really shouldn't be this hard, right? Well, it turns out most of them are making the exact same critical mistake. And the answer is surprisingly simple. They're all just jumping into the same incredibly crowded pools. We're talking about that endless stream of AI tutorials, those faceless motivation channels, and content based on trends that were popular years ago. It's a battle they're pretty much destined to lose before they even start. And the data doesn't lie. After looking at over 300 fast-growing faceless channels, a pretty shocking pattern popped up. Over 90%, 90% of the top performers are not following the crowd. They're succeeding because they operate in these very specific, often overlooked niches. It's really time to stop chasing those fleeting trends and start building something that has real, lasting power. So let's dive into the 6 faceless niches where these creators are quietly but absolutely dominating. So, the first group of niches we're going to cover all follow this simple but super powerful formula. They take subjects that feel complex, maybe even a little intimidating, and they make them simple, accessible, and honestly entertaining. First up is animated economics. You'd think this would be incredibly dry, but the top channels are taking the exact opposite approach. They're explaining complex financial topics using, get this, cartoon monkeys. Yeah, I'm serious. A channel called Primate Economics has pulled in 400,000 subscribers with just 19 videos, all by explaining things like inflation with animated apes. It's just brilliant. And this perfectly illustrates the psychology behind it. Look, economics affects everyone's daily life, right? But it's usually presented in a way that's either way too complex or just plain boring. These channels, they make it feel like a story. They make an intimidating topic feel approachable and even kind of fun. Okay, next up is a niche that honestly feels like a Netflix series about the internet, digital culture documentaries. Now, these are not your typical drama channels. These are high-production storytellers, like Internet Anarchist, which has over 1.7 million subscribers, creating these deep-dive videos on the rise and fall of online trends and personalities. So the crucial point here is this. People are endlessly fascinated by internet culture. But let's be real, it's chaotic. These creators step in as curators. They organize the narrative and give viewers that deep dive they're craving, without them having to follow every single tweet and video out there. Niche number 3 is visual book breakdowns. And this has evolved way beyond just simple summaries. We're seeing channels like Escaping Ordinary creating these stunning visual essays, connecting ideas from multiple books on things like psychology and business. And the results are just incredible. 1.7 million subscribers with only 16 videos. The power here is just undeniable. It hits that perfect sweet spot for a curious, self-improvement-driven audience. You get the core ideas from multiple books, all presented as an engaging story with visuals that actually make the lessons stick. It's growth and entertainment, all wrapped into one. Now, the next thematic group, this one centers on a really unique visual-first approach to storytelling that feels personal and is just incredibly captivating. Okay, this next niche is, honestly, it's mind-blowing. It's called painted storytelling. Channels like The Pain Explainer use nothing but simple, hand-drawn visuals and clear narration to explain really complex topics. And that channel alone, it's just 2 years old and already has over 1.5 million subscribers and 200 million views. Just wow. So what's the secret? It's authenticity. In this sea of flashy, over-edited videos, these simple drawings just feel real. You know, the process of the drawing itself is mesmerizing. And because your brain isn't being distracted by all these fancy effects, it focuses intently on the content. It's kind of like a personal tutoring session. And for our final 2 niches, we're looking at some really grand stories. One focused on where we've been, and the other on where we're going. Next up, historical deep dives. The key here is focus. Instead of these broad, sweeping lessons, the really successful channels are zooming in on specific, often untold stories from major events. I mean, content about World War II, for example, is completely evergreen. A video made today can get views for years and years, and long-form content, like over an hour, often gets a huge boost from the algorithm. But the real magic isn't just reciting facts. It's transforming those facts into a cinematic narrative. You have to find that human story within the historical event. The personal decisions, the emotions. That's what makes the past feel powerful and real to a modern audience. And for our final niche, this is the one that is absolutely exploding right now: AI documentaries. And I want to be clear, this is not about reviewing AI tools. This is about creating short, cinematic films on how artificial intelligence is fundamentally reshaping our world. There's a video from the channel AI Species that got over 7 million views in just 9 days. Insane. So the key here is all about perspective. You're not just another tech reviewer. You become a thought leader. You're analyzing a monumental shift in human history as it's happening. And that is what attracts an incredibly valuable audience of executives, investors, and entrepreneurs. So how are creators even producing such high-quality content in all these different niches? Well, they're pretty much all following a common playbook. It's a simple, repeatable 4-step workflow powered by AI that makes this level of creation more accessible than ever before. So, to bring this all together, let's take a look at the consolidated toolkit you'd actually need to get started in any of these spaces. Okay, let's break down this toolkit. For that crucial first step, research and scripting, you've got tools like ChatGPT and Perplexity. For visuals, your options are really broad, from Recraft for animation to Canva for those simple drawings. For a professional voiceover, 11 Labs is basically the industry standard. And then finally, to edit and assemble it all, CapCut AI and DaVinci Resolve are your best bets. This is the exact stack that's powering this new wave of creators. Ultimately, the takeaway from all of this is pretty clear. The real opportunity on YouTube in 2026 isn't about hopping on the next viral trend. It's about finding an overlooked space and committing to telling bigger, more meaningful stories that actually resonate with a dedicated audience. So, the playbook is laid out, the tools are ready, and these untapped niches are just waiting. The only question left is, what story are you going to tell?